Today we're examining unusual eating disorders that I haven't even heard of before. Now, one of the biggest myths about eating disorders is that they only happen to women. That is so not true. Gregg is the opposite of an anorexic. He's what some people call bigorexic. And he was so compelled to get bigger and bigger that it nearly cost him his life. Gregg Valentino made a name for himself as the king of bodybuilding, but as with any great achievement, it came with a high price. Now, instead of being known as the man with the biggest biceps in the world, he's known as the man whose arms exploded.
How you doing? I'm Gregg Valentino. I have the biggest arms in the world. No bull. I've been training 28 years. I earned these babies.
I loved the attention, and the attention was all on me. People turn and come up to you, and girls poke at it to see if it's real, and guys give you respect.
So Gregg began a 30-year bodybuilding journey.
I'm only 5'5". I have a small man complex, and I just said, man, if I can't grow taller, I'm gonna grow bigger. And that's exactly what I did. I started taking steroids, and I'm not gonna lie, I had like a love affair with steroids.
Gregg Valentino's body is the result of hardcore steroid use.
Boom, I grew like a weed, and the more I grew, the more I wanted. You start thinking like a Teflon. You're big, you feel like you can walk through a wall.
After years of injections, Gregg's biceps finally fought back.
You get, like, stupid. You reuse needles. I was an idiot. I dropped a needle on the floor, blow it off, stick it in, and you wind up getting yourself infections. When you get an infection, you get bad fever. Every muscle in your body and joint ache.
Gregg ended up in emergency surgery.
If you don't get it taken care of, it could be very dangerous. It could kill you.
Gregg, what do you feel like when you watch that? When you really see it?
Oof, that's, well, it's embarrassing. Like I said in the film, you know, I would do stupid things. You know, you get lazy, you reuse a needle, or you drop it on the floor, you blow it off. You do things like that.
Yeah.
And eventually, you know, it's all in that mindset. You got to get huge.
Why did you feel the need to get so huge, to get so big?
Well,
because you're huge. I mean, even now you're like, you look like you have on football.
Everybody always says that.
Stuff.
Yeah, and well, I'm not. You know, I'm not even in that whole. First of all, that was a long time ago. That was at least 6 years ago.
But why the need?
Because I'm like a big man in a small man's body.
How tall are you?
Not tall at all. No.
Tell me how tall you are.
I'm like almost 5'6".
Okay.
With a lump on my head. But
okay, so 5'5" maybe.
Yeah.
And so did that make you feel insecure growing up?
Well, you know what it is. I was always a great athlete. Baseball, football, whatever I played, I was always the best kid. But I was always the smallest kid, so I had to play harder than the other kids to make sure the coach would play me, and you know, and to compensate for that, what I did was I figured if I can't grow taller, I'm gonna grow bigger.
You did grow bigger. You're like 5 feet across. I mean, you're really wide.
Thanks.
Okay, so did that help your self-esteem? Did that make you?
Yeah, it did, because you know, you start getting jacked, and you know, everywhere you go, people like start bugging out. And, you know, it's like that.
So attention. So
exactly.
This attention makes you feel good, huh?
Yeah.
Like oh my God, this. Oh my God, it's.
That's hard, like a rock, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
But yeah.
It's a lot. It really is big. So you don't think that you're big right now?
See that ugly picture of me up there? You know, I felt big then, and I don't look like that anymore. I don't have that big basketball head.
So you think that looks ugly and looks bad?
I know it looks ugly. I swear to God, I don't look at that and go, man, I look awesome. Okay. I mean, I'd rather look like Brad Pitt, but it ain't in the cards for me. So, you know, but in my head, because I used to look like that, because I was so big before, this is small to me.
This is small.
I don't know if that makes sense, but, you know, that's...
Okay. And I know you were selling the drugs, selling the steroids, and what ended up happening because of that?
I went to jail. I mean, you know, I got locked up. You know, I'm 46 years old. So, you know, at 40 years old, I got locked up. You know, this was, you know, 6 years ago. And I'm sitting in jail, and you know, everybody else in there is all happy, you know, because they've been locked up their whole lives. At 40 years old, I finally get locked up, and I'm like, man, I got to change my life. I can't live like this anymore.
So you got out, and what happened?
I changed my life. Now I'm good. You know, I work for Muscular Development Magazine. I'm the #1. I have the #1 column in the sport of bodybuilding. I do all the media work and everything.
Do you think you still have that insecurity that you had as a young kid?
Yeah, definitely.
Think it'll stay with you forever?
Always, because I don't like being short. You know, I wish I was big.
Well, you are big.
Well, I mean, I wish I was
very big.
taller. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a way of compensating. I think that all the people backstage, they're compensating for something. Maybe not like me, but somewhere along the lines, you know. You're gonna, you know, you want to do something to make up for that thing that you're missing.
I love that you know what it is, because a lot of people don't know what it is. You know, it's that the guy has the Napoleon complex. He runs around, wants to fight everybody. But you know, you understand where it comes from.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's really great. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thanks.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Up next, a man arrested.